Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube. Just before I get any further into this, we're doing a speed build, but it flashed really quick because I always forget like how fast things actually are. This lot, the grass is not real, okay? The grass had to be painted on, and so I don't know if this lot will automatically install with the stone that's around it is what this lot actually looked like, and then I had to paint over it with grass. I don't know if it will download with the stone and then see the grass is, you know, a paint over top of it and then like shift it over, because I don't know if your houses do this when you like place a house in a world. All of the terrain paint shifts just ever so slightly. It drives me nuts. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it when it does that. But just in case you see that like there's like a strip along like the side of your lot that looks like stone or something, I just want to say that is because this lot is painted, the grass is painted on. It is not actually a lot that starts with grass. So with that being said, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a speed build. So I am building another house for one of my Feig challenge sims. His name is Kashan. This is going to be his house with his wife, and they're going to have 3 children. So this house has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a nursery, a laundry room, and an office. I did not decorate any of the children's rooms, so that is something I will eventually come back and do at some point. In the save that this house will be placed down in, like in my Feig save. I mean, if you don't know what Feig is, it stands for every generation there's a genre. So it's for every generation genre. I didn't want to put FEGTG. But yeah, basically every generation is based off a different type of genre. So like the first generation was based off of children's books, the second generation was based off of biographies, and this current generation is based off of fantasy books. Now I am an avid reader. I absolutely love to read. It's one of my favorite things to do. I unfortunately don't have the amount of time that I used to read. But one of my all-time favorite series is The Tiger's Curse. And it is technically it's a 5-book series, but I've only read the first 4. Because my all-time favorite character in the book is Ren. And my last speed was actually for Ren's house, because all of the characters in this generation, because it is fantasy, because Tiger's Curse is a fantasy series, each generation is based as like, I use my favorite series that like relate to the genre. So with the first generation, with it being kids, I didn't really know what to do. So our founder's name was actually Kita, so kids just with an A instead of an S. The second generation was Diana, named after Princess Diana, because I find Princess Diana of Wales extremely fascinating. And that was for biography. And then the third generation is based off fantasy. So our heir, her name is Kelsey, which is the actual main character of this series. And Kelsey is married to a man named Robert, who looks like Robert Downey Jr., which is why his name is actually Robert. His name was initially Carl, but I changed it to Robert. Because all 4 of Kelsey's children are named after characters. Well, actually only 3 of her children are named after characters in the book. And then our heir, Reed, is the next generation is medical journals, which I'm like, I don't really read medical journals. But then I love Criminal Minds. My favorite character from Criminal Minds is Spencer Reed. I'm like, oh, he's a doctor. I mean, he's not that kind of doctor, but he's technically a doctor. So how funny would it be if like our heir was named Reed, and I already knew that I wanted kids named Kadam, Ren, and Kashan, and so for me I was like, oh my gosh, then I could have KRKR, and then I was like, oh, that's so cute. But then like, okay, so Kelsey is their mom, K, well, where's the R names? Like I've explained this before, I am very weird about stuff like that. Like, why have, so say like all of the kids' names start with K, so it was like I don't know, Kevin, Kyle, Kashan, and like then there was this last kid, and his name's Reed. Well, what if, like, both of the parents are named, like, have K names, and then you have just this one random child, this one random member of the family who doesn't have the same first initial? That drives me nuts. I'm like, well, why don't they get to be included? Why don't they get to be a part of, like, the same initial for, like, yeah, that really bugs me. I don't know why, but I will never have, like, all of my children, like, if I have kids someday, they will not share the same initials. Or I will not allow them to have a name that starts with either mine or my partner's first letter. They will not have the same letter, first letter, like, their names will not start with the same first letter of our last name, and none of them will have the same first letter for their names. And I will not be talked out of that, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. It really bugs me. But anyways, I was like, okay, I need an R. I want Reed and Ren to, like, fit in somewhere. And so the guy we ended up, like, marrying, his name was initially Carl. And I took Carl into Create a Sim. And to me, he looked a lot like Robert Downey Jr. And I love Robert Downey Jr. Oh my gosh, I absolutely adore that man. He just makes me so happy. And I feel like he's just one of, like, the most awesome people ever. Like, I don't know, like, his smile makes me smile, like, and that makes me, okay, that could come off sounding kind of creepy, but, like, I idolize Robert Downey Jr., okay? I know he's, like, had a rough past, but, like, the man he is today, I idolize that man. Plus, Iron Man is my favorite Marvel character. I absolutely love Tony Stark. I love Iron Man. I could go off on a whole other tangent about how I think the Marvel universe got really dark after, like, Avengers. Like, basically Iron Man 3 and after, I don't like any of the Marvel movies other than Black Panther. I don't like any of the new Avenger movies. I think Iron Man 3, like, Tony got so, like, depressed and so much, like, PTSD, and, like, that traumatized him, and then everybody got mad. They're like, basically, that Tony's too, like, because Tony's so rich, he's not allowed to be traumatized, and just, like, I see all these arguments that, like, paint Tony to be this bad guy, and, like, I don't know, I am very much, I'm getting worked up. So anyways, I love Robert Downey Jr. I absolutely adore this man. I, like, worship the ground he walks on. So I was like, oh, well, Carl looks like Robert Downey Jr. Oh my gosh, there's the R name that I need so that my children will fit in. And so now he's named Robert, and he has a goatee and, like, the styled hair, and he, like, yeah. So Robert is very much inspired by RDJ. But yeah, so Ren is my all-time favorite character of the book series. Going back to why I haven't read the 5th book, Ren is my all-time favorite character. And if you read the series, this is kind of a spoiler. There's a love triangle between Ren's younger brother Kashawn, and Kelsey, the main character. Like, Kelsey starts initially, like, by kind of dating Ren. Like, she's like, no, this, like, you're too good for me. Once you realize that, like, there's so many pretty women in the world, you won't want to be with me. Well, then they end up dating, and then something happens to Ren, and so Kelsey goes on, like, this whole, like, adventure with Kashawn, because Kashawn's like, oh my gosh, we have to, save my brother. Well, in the process, like, they develop feelings for each other, even though Kelsey has feelings for Ren. Then we rescue Ren. Ren has, like, Ren's different, okay, and he's not, like, really wanting to be with Kelsey. And then we get to, like, the 3rd book, and Ren is getting jealous because of Kelsey and Kashawn. This whole time, Kelsey's holding out hope that, like, things will be fixed between her and Ren. They aren't. Kelsey finally decides to give in to her feelings for Kashawn, and then Ren sees this. Everything, like, he's like, no, she's mine, like, she's supposed to be, like, with me, like, we're supposed to be together. And then it's back to Ren wants to be with Kelsey, and it sounds bad, okay, but I'm trying not to completely spoil it. There's a reason why he didn't want to be with her, and then suddenly, like, as soon as he sees her with his brother, he's like, no, she's my girlfriend. There's a reason why it sounds like that. It's not just, oh my gosh, no, like, you know, one of those things, like, you leave it, okay, it's like siblings. I mean, they are brothers. You know, one leaves a toy, goes to play with something else. The other sibling comes up to play with the abandoned toy. The first sibling comes back and gets all upset. No, that's mine. That is not what is going on here. That is not why Ren is getting upset. But I don't want to completely spoil it because I heavily encourage that you read the series. It is so good. Anyways, so Ren is like, wait, no, she's supposed to be with me. Like, that's my girlfriend. What are you doing? And Kelsey's like, well, you haven't been wanting to be with me, and, like, that really hurt, and, like, I've finally told Kashan that, like, I'll give him a chance. And so then it just kind of ends up, like, then she's back to being like, like, I'm with Kashan, but I still have, like, really deep feelings for Ren, and, like, Kashan knows it. And I do not like the fourth book. I feel like the fourth book is kind of just thrown out there, and it's like, for the whole point of the series, it is very, again, out there. It is very far from where, like, the series started, and I feel like it was just kind of I almost feel like the author was kind of grasping at straws to keep, like, the series going. I do not enjoy the fourth book, and it is the only book that I have not reread of the series. But then how the fourth book ends, and I could be wrong, seeing as how I haven't read the fifth book, but Kashan ends up, like, meeting someone else, and ends up staying with her, and then the fifth book is very much centered around Kashan and this other girl, and so, like, I just, like, because of that, I don't really want to read about Kashan. Like, don't get me, like, Kashan grew on me, because when I first met him, I wasn't a fan, because he was very much, like, between the two brothers, he was definitely, like, the bad boy jerk. But, like, during the second book, he grew on me, but I am a Ren and Kelsey shipper at heart, which is kind of wrong, because of, in this challenge, Ren is Kelsey's son, but in the book series, like, I ship Ren and Kelsey. Like, I want someone to love me and treat me like Ren treats Kelsey. Like, he worships the ground she walks on. I want that. It has actually sent me into depressive, like, spirals before, because I'll be reading that book, and then I'm like, I want someone to love me like that, and then I just spiral. It has happened before, because I reread the first and second book a lot. Okay, I've reread, especially the first book. I've reread the first book, oh goodness, at least, like, 5 or 6 times. I love the first book. And then, like, the first, like, third of the second book, chef's kiss, love them. Because Kelsey's playing hard to get, and Ren loves a good chase. So, like, it's just one of those things. I'm like, I want someone to love me the way that Ren loves Kelsey. I want it so bad. And, like, Ren just sounds super hot, okay? Like, sue me. No, don't find a reason to sue me, but, you get it. But, yeah, so, we have, in the challenge, we've already done Kadam's house. So, Kadam is, in the book, Ren and Kashan, and Kadam all do not age. Well, Kadam ages very slowly. Like, I don't know the exact math, but just, I don't know, say, like, 1 year for him is, like, 2,000 years. No, that's not accurate. Maybe, like, 500 years is, like, a single year for him, is how much he ages. So, Kadam was Ren and Kashan's, and I could be totally pronouncing these names wrong, but Kadam was Ren and Kashan's father, who was a king, an Indian king. Kadam was their father's, like, military advisor, and he basically watched the boys grow up, and then as soon as the boys were cursed to become tigers, which is, like, the whole point of the series is to break this curse so the boys can be human again. Kadam basically, like, helped them. Like, Ren eventually got captured and put into, like, circuses and stuff, and Kadam could not directly influence what was going on with Ren. Like, if he tried, then things would go wrong. So, like, if Kadam tried to buy Ren from a circus or something, then Ren would get put in, like, a really bad, like, abusive circus kind of thing. And it was, yeah, so Kadam could not directly intervene, but then, like, Kelsey came along, and all of a sudden, like, Ren could be freed, like, from the circus. And, like, it was, read the book, you'll understand. But, Kadam basically was with the boys, like, he stuck with them, like, this entire time that they had been tigers, which was I don't remember exactly how long, but it was a really long time. And, like, all of his family is gone and stuff like that. But we have Kadam as our oldest, and he is married to a man named Lokesh. Now, in the book series, Lokesh is a really bad guy, okay? Lokesh is, like, their enemy. He's the reason the boys are tigers. He's not a good guy. But in the game, Lokesh is Kadam's husband, and together they have a daughter that they adopted named Nalima. And in the book series, Nalima is actually Kadam's great whatever granddaughter, like, you know, a bunch of generations down. That, like, every so often he'll bring in, like, a descendant to basically, like, let in on the family secret and, like, let them help out and stuff, but they all, you know, die because they are not immortal like he is. And yeah, so that's Kadam. And then we have Ren, and Ren is married to Haley, and together they are going to have 2 sets of twins. They're going to have 2 boy twins and then 2 girl twins. And then there's Kashawn, and Kashawn is currently, at least when I'm recording this, the boys, well, Kashawn is not married to Anamika yet, but he is trying to date a woman named Anamika, and they're going to have 3 children together. And then there's Reed, who's our heir, and I don't really remember what the specifics are for him, but yeah, he will be the next generation. But we'll be going back to The Sims 4 for more I'm a Lover before we play Reed's generation. Let's see what else. I don't know, again, but I guess back to, like, how I pronounce the boys' names, cause, so their father is Indian, but their mother was Asian, Chinese, I believe, which I'm really curious to know what that would look like, just kind of the mixture of Indian and Asian genetics. But, like, I've literally tried Googling, like, Indian, Asian, like, I don't know, like, I've tried to put, like, Indian Asian man, because I just want to know, like, what the boys would look like, having both Indian and Asian parents. But, Ren's full name is actually Alahan Diren, I'm gonna make a fool of myself, Raharam. I don't know, I cannot pronounce these. It's Alaghan Dhiren, Alahan Diren, and that's where they get Ren from. Both boys go by their middle names. Rajaram, or whatever, Rajaram, I believe. I always say Raharam because I don't know, I feel stupid saying it out loud now, but I always have fun saying it. I'm like, whenever I come across in the book, I'm like, Raharam, and I'm like, that's probably so wrong. But yeah, oh gosh dang it, I was like, I think, as I was finishing up this house, I'm like, I think I got it all. I don't think I missed anything. I didn't put a litter box down because Kashawn will be taking the family cat Tiger with him when he moves out. I have a food bowl, I have cat toys, I have scratching posts and a cat tower. I don't know if that is fully accessible because I don't have it, like, it's placed with move objects. Also, I'm only placing these custom content cars here to see, like, if I can fit a big truck in there. Not the big truck would even go there, but Kashawn is going to drive a truck because that's what he drives in the series. He drives a GMC Sierra, which is what I just had, that last truck I had placed. But we're coming up to pictures. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh, he was going to take the cat with him. There's a food bowl, there's toys, scratching posts, a cat tower. There's just no litter box, so a litter box will have to be placed. But I think that's really about everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. The house will be down in the description below. Feel free to download it. Just make sure, if you use it for something, to give proper credit. I would really appreciate that. I think that's really about everything though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for rambling. Please go check out Tiger's Curse, like the series, the books. Oh, it's so good, guys. I promise it's so good. But I think that is everything. Oh, gaming channel, Twitter, both are down below. Been playing Arkham Knight, and I post updates on my Twitter, like if something isn't gonna go up on time. But yeah, I'm done. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.